Goswami on the debate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, when the 18th unit of the Rashtriya Rifles were on their way back from their patrolling duties close to the LOC at Bhuta Patri, Pakistani trained terrorists with the help of possibly the Pakistan Border Action Team ambushed their convoy. There was a fierce firefight and the coward terrorists scampered into the forest. 28-year-old rifleman Jeevan Singh and 28-year-old Kaisar Ahmad Shah gave up their lives, ensuring that we pushed the Pakistanis back. 30-year-old Nayak Achintya Pandit, who is currently battling for life, also did the same. Homes of two porters from Kashmir, Mushtaq Chaudhary and Zahur Mir, also have coffins reaching their home back tonight. Since 2014, there have been 1,357 incidents of terror in Jammu and Kashmir. 1,357, which have resulted in casualties. Since 2014, there have been 380 civilians killed by the Pakistanis in Jammu and Kashmir. Since 2014, we have 618 of our security personnel, ladies and gentlemen. And the first surgical strike that we conducted on Pakistan, after all of this, was on the 28th of September 2016. And then there was a gap. And the last surgical strike we conducted on Pakistan was about 3 years later, 26th of February 2019. Which means today it is more than 2,000 days since we last hammered Pakistan ghar mein ghus ke. In fact, 2,068 days have passed since we hammered the Pakistanis with a surgical strike. Please think about why I'm saying this. What I'm saying tonight is very clear, and I hope you stand with me in this. And we must read the pattern, as these attacks are increasingly desperately as the cover of winter nears, and the Pakistanis will be doing their classic and stale and pathetic trick of trying to push through terrorists en masse into Kashmir, which has been largely peaceful since the blood business of Azadi has been shut down in Jammu and Kashmir, and the lifeline of Islamabad has been asphyxiated. And the question today, as I see it, is very, very clear. It has been 2,068 days since the last surgical strike. We need a more military approach. We need to adopt a much more aggressive strategy militarily to counter Pakistan. Because middle road does not help. Reasoning, rationale, giving them time, opportunity, only putting a little bit of diplomatic pressure does not help. These are Pakistanis we are dealing with. Because the surgical strikes got them creaking quite literally in their boots. But these Pakistanis either need to hear from the might of the Indian Army, the Indian defense, more often in terms of these strikes. Either we have more frequent, though unpredictable surgical strikes, or we need a broader final solution strategy. This middle road will not work because the Modi government has worked hard in defending the democracy in Kashmir. They have done so by revoking 370 and conducting a very successful democratic exercise. They have done so by bringing central schemes, billions of dollars of worth investment, development, roads, and with the acceptability to the people of Kashmir. But at the same principle, the same time, we must do all of this on one side and add our aggression on the other vis-a-vis the Pakistanis. So my point tonight on the nation's sharpest opinion is simple. It's been 2,068 days since we hit them hard the last time. Now, either we have more frequent and maybe a series of surgical strikes, or we have a final solution strategy. That will call for a diplomatic work, but principally 80% of that will be a military approach. I believe this is the best time, and we can finish the job fast. Anyone watching the program tonight knows this, that if we deliberate at a time like this, we can finish the job in days, not even weeks. We are calling the global shots. We have incredible influence. We are part of the global power play. And I think the time for the final solution is here. What do you think? Let's debate.
The last salute to the mighty fallen. The Pakistan-sponsored terror outfit is back at it once again.
Pakistan! Pakistan! Pakistan!
7 days, 4 terror attacks. October 18th, one non-local from Bihar mercilessly killed in Shopian. Just 2 days later, on October 20, 7 civilians killed, 5 injured in Gandarbal. October 24, 19-year-old non-local from UP's Bijnor shot at by terrorists. And then, on October 24, 2 army men, 2 army porters killed in action in North Kashmir's Gulmarg. The army says that there are about 120 to 130 terrorists active in the valley.
What actually has happened over the last 5 years in the Jammu and Kashmir is a large number of terrorists, almost 720 have been neutralized. And the residual terrorists today, the agencies, the multi-agency center keeps updating the figures, stand something like 120, 130.
Politicians who once stood pro-Pak line now say Kashmir will not become Pakistan.
मैंने ये आज 30 साल से देख रहा हूं और बेगुनाह मारे जाते हैं और हम पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा बनने वाले नहीं हैं। तो ये कर किस लिए रहे हैं? हमारे मुस्तकबिल को खराब करने के लिए, बर्बाद करने के लिए।
The terror state hasn't learned its lesson from the past, and it's time to hurt the terror state where it hurts them.
So, Uzma Kardar, I don't know what you're trying to prove. You know, yesterday's attack was a direct attack on the Indian Army, on the Rashtriya Rifles unit. So you're calling for a war. And you're declaring war against India. Are you sure you want to do this? By asking your soldiers to attack an Indian Army Rashtriya Rifles unit, you are calling for a war with India. Are you sure you want to do that? Are you truly prepared for our response, for our likely response?
Arnab, what can I say? You know, you people are so obsessed with warmongering, and you call yourself a democracy, but you do not want to talk or negotiate or discuss anything. Straight away, you know, you jump to military, strategies and military options. That shows that India is not a democracy at all. They don't believe in talking and, solving their problems. Now, you see what you're facing in occupied Kashmir. That is of your own making.
Uzmaji, there is a reason for this. There is a reason for this. There is a reason for this. Let me explain to you, and General Bishamba Dayal is joining this debate tonight. I'll just tell you this. Your point to me tonight is that on every issue, we, as India's leading news network, are looking for military options. There is a reason for this. And the reason is, as someone famously said recently, that there are two kinds of countries, right? India is a nation which has an army. You are an army that has a nation.
Oh, well, come
So
on.
we will only speak to you in military terms.
You've got such distorted concepts. I don't know from where you get them, for God's sake.
Well, I get them from my extremely intelligent mind and my deep reading of Pakistan's history and my curious interest in global geostrategy, for which you are clearly not prepared to debate with me on equal terms. You seem underprepared tonight, Uzma. But you can...
Arnab, for God's sake, you people, you have a one-track mind. Why don't you accept the fact that this is an indigenous freedom movement in occupied Kashmir? You have brought this upon yourself. You have turned Kashmir
Vishambar Dayal,
into biggest jail.
can we get his audio correct? His audio is not good. General Dayal's audio has to be improved.
You have violated all the human fundamental rights. This is an uprising. It's an indigenous uprising. They don't want you.
We just had an election in Kashmir,
5
and
lakh
people are
army that
voting
you have placed there
for the government that they wanted. Terrorism cannot be tolerated.
Both audio and video have to be fixed,
Pakistan is a
producers.
terror state. Let's accept that.
Please.
The more
Fast.
terrorists you send to us, it will be incumbent on India to eradicate terrorism from Pakistan if you cannot stop. Why is it that the Pakistani army and the Pakistani government failing to deal with terrorism? In fact, you are incumbent in supporting terrorism out of Pakistan.
You are the biggest
Do you
terrorist
expect
of the
India
world. The whole
to remain
world is
quiet?
now saying that
Do you
India is
expect
exporting
India to
terrorism.
remain quiet
You're exporting
when
terrorism
terrorists
to
are killing
America.
our
You're
jawans and our
exporting terrorism
soldiers?
to Britain. You're
India will not
exporting
keep quiet.
terrorism
India will
everywhere in the
eradicate
world.
every
You are the
terrorist.
ones who are known
India
as the
will
biggest terrorists
eradicate
now.
every
It's
terrorist
Audio controls need to be
that is
better.
a threat to India.
No, I think that Uzma, please listen to me. Uzma, please listen to me. Uzma ji, please listen to me. I can't hear her. Her audio is not clear in the studio. Can it be increased in the studio? Uzma ji, please listen to me. Listen to me. I asked you that if you want to declare war on India, you just think through the likely consequences that you are going to face. That's all.
Listen, we do not fear war. Don't forget Abhinandan, okay? And please remember how your Air Force got a slap on its face. You cannot compete with us. Our armed forces are one of the best in the world, and we do not fear war at all.
Fix the Indian panel.
The number of terrorists we have eliminated.
We are fully prepared.
Forgotten the number of terrorists we have eliminated that have come from Pakistan, and we will continue to eliminate the terrorists.
Give us the threat of war.
And if Pakistan continues to support the terrorists, we will continue to eliminate every single terrorist.
For a long time to come.
Why is Pakistan refusing
You have to keep the audio right.
with terrorists?
Uzma, you need to get better Indian panelists faster, please.
To sacrifice their lives for their lives.
Uzma,
You cannot face them.
Uzma, you have just admitted in your excitement that you have sent your army into Indian territory to attack Rashtriya Rifles personnel, and you have also said right now, you just said right now that you will follow up by sending more Pakistanis on our soil. May I remind you that what you are saying as a member of parliament from the PMLN, the ruling party, amounts to an act of war against India.
Military strategy, and you are obsessed with the fact
Louder,
that
what is
we
she
are
saying?
going to sort them out, and we will tell them what it is. You people, I mean, that's all you do. You keep on hurling accusations. You keep on hurling threats. That's all you're capable of doing. Nothing else.
No, we are capable of taking you on also, man. We are capable of taking you on also.
What is happening?
We've shown it at numerous times.
Oh, no, you have not shown us. It's been
peaceful.
75 long years. You have not shown anything to us.
You won't
we are the ones who have
with India.
shown everything
So don't even
to you.
go down that path.
We are the ones.
Correct what is wrong in Pakistan if you have the courage to do that. Correct what is wrong in Pakistan if you have the courage to do that. But you will not
fulfill your
Pakistan
so-called
depends on
ambitions.
terrorism. Pakistan depends on funding that comes from nations that want to keep terrorism alive. And that is
Oh,
the
yeah,
reality
that's
of
what you
Pakistan.
think. That's
But
what you
Pakistan
think.
does not want to accept it.
We don't need
The
any
people of
funds from any,
Pakistan
from
are
any other
suffering
place.
because
Okay,
of
I ask you this.
Pakistani
Bishambar,
army.
General Bishambar Dayal is with us. General Bishambar Dayal, General Bishambar Dayal, General Bishambar Dayal, 1 minute. Uzma, General Dayal.
We don't need anybody.
Uzma, viewers,
In fact,
yesterday,
we are helping other
viewers,
countries
yesterday I was,
also, with,
yesterday,
all their,
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'll tell you one thing. First of all, it's an act of cowardice when the army comes, supports terrorists, and then ambushes. They cannot come in a one-to-one fight. Everyone knows that. Second point is that I don't know where Uzma Kardar was on 16th of December 1971. Maybe she can tell me. Where were you on 16th of December 1971?
I was watching your army, 2.5 lakh Indian soldiers which you sent to support Mukti Bhani against our Pakistani forces. How you slaughtered our soldiers.
Where were you? Where
and
were
our
you? Where were
officers.
you when you surrendered?
You saw that. My husband was a POW.
Oh, your husband was caught by us.
I know.
Your husband was caught by us. And was he? Did he also put his guns down? Did he also look down? You have a pic. Did he surrender? Your husband surrendered. You mean your husband surrendered to India? Your husband surrendered to us. Your husband surrendered to us. Your husband surrendered to us. He's a surrenderee.
It was not that.
Remember, all his life he will be known as someone who surrendered.
Army. It was your army and Mukti Bhani.
But he surrendered. He surrendered. I know you must be feeling bad that he came back as a surrendered man.
Oh no.
He came back a surrendered man.
I think they fought for their country.
Yeah, but he came back a surrendered man.
For their country.
We had pity on him. He surrendered. He surrendered. So always be grateful. Always be grateful. Always be grateful, Uzma.
You be grateful.
Always be grateful. You have personal experience. Your husband had surrendered to India in 1971. Your husband surrendered in 1971. Must hit you hard. It must hurt you. It must hurt you to know he went to war to fight and came back on the basis of our pity.
Your soldiers.
He went to the war to fight and came back as a surrenderee who had got our pity. Pity.
Oh, we don't want your pity.
Always, you got it. You may not want, but you took it. You took our pity. You took our pity. Did your husband say, shoot me, but I will not surrender? Did he say to an Indian, shoot me, I will not surrender? Did he refuse to surrender? Why did your husband surrender? Why did your husband surrender? Why did he surrender?
Wrap their bodies of the young men in the...
Why did he surrender? Why did your husband surrender like a coward?
Do not give them their...
Why did your husband surrender on 16th of December 1971? A date you remember very well, Uzma. You will never forget it all your life. Whole life you will not forget 16th December 1971. It is the date your husband and your army surrendered.
My husband was just a captain at that time.
Yeah, a surrendered captain.
He had barely joined the army at that time. And you
a defeated and surrendered captain who took India's pity and came back home, defeated and surrendered.
You should be ashamed of yourself. These were this was.
Let me tell you now. Madam, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. General Bishambar Dayal has history in Indian Army. My father was in the Madras Sappers 9 Engineer Regiment, part of the victorious Indian Army of 1971. You, on the other hand, your husband in 1971 surrendered and was defeated and came back because of our pity. Anyway, good luck to you. I understand your personal history in this matter. Now having understood कि आपको गुस्सा क्यों आता है, हम समझते हैं, हमें बुरा लगता है, क्योंकि आपने कहा कि आपके अपने शौहर एक कैप्टन है जो पाकिस्तान आर्मी में थे, जिन्होंने अपनी बुज़दिली दिखाकर हार कर सरेंडर करके घर वापस आए थे. Now the point is, General Bishambar Dayal, because they can't face us in a war. Because they can't face us in a war.
Stop dreaming about taking over Pakistan.
I am not. Now, anyway, your husband was not the only one who surrendered. Many other people surrendered like your husband.
Is invincible. You cannot
If you can
even
make
hope
a
to
point,
compete
I'll
with the
explain to you.
Pakistan.
Anyway, I think I touched a raw nerve. I touched a raw nerve today. I touched a raw nerve in Uzma today. I touched a raw nerve.
I think it's time you should get a reality check.
I've given you a reality check because I made you remember the day your husband surrendered.
No, I will give her a reality check if you request her to be quiet, Arnab. If you can request her to be quiet. Arnab, firstly, it's a
One
proxy
Pakistani
war.
guest seems to have run away. One Pakistani guest seems to have run away. Ladies and gentlemen, get him back. Ladies and gentlemen, he's coming back. General Bishambar Dayal, on the debate this evening, what are the choices before us now?
Arnab, it's a proxy war, and a proxy war is a military situation, and it needs a military solution. It's a military problem, it needs a military solution. Now, in proxy war,
I agree.
Either you keep tackling the proxies or you strike at the base. I'm of the firm belief that the Pakistani army, the Pakistani ISI are solely responsible for sponsoring, patronizing, and completely funding, completely supporting the terrorism and this ghastly act which is going on in Jammu and Kashmir to undermine India, to undermine India's democracy, undermine India's development, undermine India's name and fame, which is across the world today. So it needs a military solution. Now, Arnab, if the government of India decides, believe you me, Indian military is capable of resolving this across the border much faster than what we can do within our own population. When in our own population, these cowards, they do these cowardly acts where we do not know. They spring like cockroaches, they spring like mouses, they go back into their holes when they are there. And let me put the record straight to the lady. In 1971, she talks of a captain of her husband who surrendered. We talk of a second lieutenant Arun Khetrapal who won a battle. He sacrificed his life, made the highest sacrifice, but won the battle of Batanta. That young boy was barely out of Indian military academy. That is the difference between Indian...
Well said, sir. Well said. Well said. Well said, sir. Well said. Well said, sir.
That is the difference. That is the critical...
Louder, louder.
And that difference...
Well said, sir. Well said, sir.
Talk
That
about
difference today
Abhinandan.
has
Don't
grown
talk
ex-
about
Listen
so
to
many
me.
years
Louder,
back.
General Bishambar Dayal, louder.
I'll
General
tell
Dayal,
you
louder.
about it. I'll tell about... I don't want to make it
Increase the audio,
individual.
please, of General Dayal.
You people
Listen,
fail to
my dear
accept that
lady,
these independence
listen to me.
movements are
My dear
there
lady,
because
I am
you
still
guys
an
people
army
have
officer, a
independent
gentleman
rights.
to
They
the
want
court.
stay with
I
India.
wouldn't like to get
They're not
indulge in personal.
You have this
But
RSS
that is the difference
mentality.
between us
You have
and
this
you.
RSS mentality, the
See,
Hindutva mentality.
You are
You're not
fountainhead
secular
of
India
terrorism.
anymore. You're not
You're
secular India
fountainhead
anymore.
of terrorism.
The secular phase
You are
is
fountain,
gone.
you are a
It's
failed
finished.
state. Right. And you are promoting terrorism across the world. You are the fountainhead.
You're the one exporting
We are
terrorism all over
promoting
the world.
peace.
Uzma!
We are supporting peace
To
and
the Sikh
prosperity.
leadership in America. Look at what you did to the Sikh leadership in Canada.
Nothing. You
The
imagine
governments
what
there
is
are sick
Punjab
and
today.
tired of you.
Listen
They
to
are
me.
throwing your high
Punjab
commissioner
today-
out.
Listen,
Because
you
of this
cannot
terrorism charges.
tolerate
What are you
Punjab
talking
is
about?
peaceful,
You are
prosperous.
declared terrorists who are
Young
exporting
lady,
terrorism
listen
all
to
over
me.
the world.
I wish there was something happening in Punjab. There's nothing. It's more peaceful than any place on the earth. And it is prospering. Right? So please don't bring unwanted subject. The subject is that the ISI and
The Sikhs don't
Pakistani
want
army...
to stay with you. The
You
Sikhs
listen.
all over the world, they had a referendum. They said, no, India. We don't want
Mind
to
your
stay
own
with India.
business, yaar, Uzma.
You
That is
deal
your
with
imagine.
that.
Mind your own
You guys
business.
deal
Your
with that.
husband tried to interfere and had to surrender in 1971.
That is why you're killing Sikhs
Your
all
husband
over
has
the
surrendered
world.
in 1971. You still don't understand. You must mind your own business.
American Sikhs. You are killing British Sikhs. You people are sick. Absolutely now.
In 1971, it was not your husband surrendered. It was your state which
Oh, well, leave my husband out of it. We were just
I didn't say that. You told me. No, 1 minute. I'd leave your husband. No, you said your husband surrendered. You have said on an Indian TV channel that your husband surrendered. I asked you, where were you? You said my husband surrendered. I asked you where were you? You said my husband surrendered. आपको अगर याद है कि आपका husband surrendered किया है तो मैं क्या करूं?
When we have an
I asked you, one minute, this is wrong. No, one minute. General Dayal, I asked her, 1 minute. General Dayal, I asked her, where were you on December 16, 1971? She said, that is the day my husband surrendered.
I was studying.
I didn't bring in her husband. She brought her husband into the debate.
So we could not get married, and we got married when he came back.
Nation,
whatever.
It's a great hardship. The way you people, kept our people in as POWs, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Listen. Did I tell you, you be ashamed of yourself? Listen,
That is the face of India. That is the face of India.
General.
When a nation surrenders, the children grow like you with this psyche. You people have grown with this psyche of meekness, surrender, cheating, bluffing, creating a wrong picture, creating a wrong narrative.
Shamelessly killed all the Pakistani forces
The entire state is based on falsehood. You understand?
You wanted East Pakistan to be separated from Pakistan.
Of course we
And you
wanted, of course.
conspired. It was your
Of course.
conspiracy.
We would like you to divide
You
into
are the
four.
conspirators.
We will
You
also
should be
divide you
ashamed
into
of
four.
yourself.
We will also
And
divide
then
you
you
into
blame
four and
Pakistan.
take POK. Of course we will divide you because you don't deserve to be. You will
What
get
do you
divided into
deserve?
four states.
What do you
and
deserve?
POK
You
will be
deserve
with
a
us.
medal for exporting
It's a
terrorism all
matter
over
of
the world.
time.
That's
It's
what
a
you
matter of
deserve.
time. It's a matter of
Now
time.
the question is, viewers, that I began by saying that by directly targeting the Indian Army, it's a very serious declaration. And the question is whether Pakistan is prepared for the consequences. And I believe...
Are you prepared?
Are you
prepared for the consequences?
1000%.
Don't forget
1000%.
Abhinandan.
1000%.
Don't forget Abhinandan.
Abhinandan went in like a hero and came back like a hero, and you thought we'll drop a nuclear bomb on you, so you sent him back after giving him a good meal.
Let me remind you that
Your minister, your interior minister, 1 minute, Uzma, you talk a lot. Now you listen to me. आप बहुत बोलती हैं, मेरी बात सुनिए. देखिए, आप बहुत बोल रही हैं, मेरी बात सुनिए. आपके मंत्री ने, आप क्या बोलते हैं उर्दू में मंत्री को? आपके मंत्री ने, जो आप मंत्री कहते हैं, उर्दू में क्या कहते हैं आप? आपके मंत्री ने आपके पार्लियामेंट में कहा कि अभिनंदन को छोड़ दो, नहीं तो इंडिया हमको अटैक करेगी, हमारे पास वायरलेस इंफॉर्मेशन आई है. आप डर के मारे आपने उनको हीरो की तरह वापस भेज दिया.
ऐसा नहीं है.
ऐसा ही है. ये वास्तविकता है. वास्तविकता को उर्दू में क्या कहते हैं? रियलिटी.
आप हर वक्त जंग की कहानी करते हैं, तो आपको ख्याल होना चाहिए कि जंग जो है उससे कोई नहीं जीतता.
अभी पीसफुल नॉइजेस
की जाने जाती हैं, उससे खून बहता है.
आपको तो पता ही होगा 1971 में बहुत जाने गई थी, कारगिल के समय भी बहुत जाने गई थी, बहुत पाकिस्तानी खून बहा था.
आपको ह्यूमन लाइफ के साथ कोई प्यार नहीं है. लॉसेस दोनों साइड्स पे होते हैं. आप जाते हैं लोग.
Now they are trying to pull back. But viewers, I'll tell you, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Irshad, see, this is not a joke. These attacks have happened after in the last 14 days. 14 दिन हो गए Jammu and Kashmir since the new government was formed, and there be 7 attacks. So it is quite clear to us that the attacks have increased after Omar Abdullah has been sworn in as the chief minister.
मेरा नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम था, जिसकी वजह से मैं आपसे बात नहीं कर सका, ना आपको सुन सका.
मुझे लगा आप भाग गए.
मैं आपसे ये बताऊंगा, देखिए ये जो कुछ भागने वाले में से नहीं है, पाकिस्तानी भागते नहीं है. इंशाल्लाह सीना आगे रख के बात करेंगे हम आपसे ये बताएंगे. देखें, पहले तो ये अभिनंदन की बात कर रहे थे. अभिनंदन एक चूहे की तरह हमने गिराया था, और आवाम ने गिराया था, फौज ने भी नहीं गिराया था, और चूहा पकड़ लिया था अपने आप का. और दूसरी बात जो हमारे मंत्री जी की कर रहे हैं, याद सादिक साहब की, उन्होंने एक सियासी बयान दिया था. सियासी बयान होते हैं, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दूसरी बात ये है, सुनो यार, बहुत देर से बात सुन लो पहले. पहले बात
He was aligned and he will always be aligned.
Irshad,
Rats are in Pakistan.
Irshad.
लोगों से मार खाई। आप जरा बात सुने, मुझे बोलने दें। अभी दूसरे को भी सुनने का हौसला रखा करें। मुझे बोलने दें, मुझे वो एक मिनट बोलने दें। मैं कह रहा हूँ 1 मिनट बोलने दें, हौसला रख के सुनने का। खामोश रहे जरा, 1 मिनट के लिए चुप रहे। आप दूसरी बात कर रहे हैं, दूसरी बात। ये चुप कर जाए 1 मिनट, 1 मिनट इनको चुप कराए जरा, इनको चुप कराए जरा। ओ यार मुंह बंद करो अपना, एक चुहे जैसे आप खुद भी हो। 1 मिनट मुंह बंद करें जरा, मुझे बोलने दें, मुझे मौका दें। बहुत देर से आप बोल रहे हैं, बहुत उल्टा सीधा बोल रहे हैं आप। मैं ये कहूंगा, देखिए आप ये कह रहे हैं 14 दिन में फारूक अब्दुल्ला ने मुझे बोलने दें,
जो चूहे हैं,
मुझे बोलने तो दें यार। 1 मिनट हौसला रखा करें, बात सुना करें दूसरे की। अभी आप बात कर रहे हैं 14 दिन में जब से फारूक अब्दुल्ला ने हुकूमत संभाली, हमले तेज हो गए। देखिए मोदी जी को सरकार नहीं मिली कश्मीर में। मैंने परसों भी आपके प्रोग्राम में कहा था, उन्होंने कम से कम कश्मीरियों से बदला डबल शुरू कर दिया। पहले मार तो रहे थे, अब उन्हें मालूम हो गया कि कश्मीरियों ने अपना हक राय दी, अख्तियार किया, और कांग्रेस और दूसरे लोगों ने मिलकर के हुकूमत बनाई। जब हुकूमत मोदी जी की नहीं बनी, बीजेपी की हुकूमत नहीं बनी, उसने इंतशार तो फैलाना है, जुल्म तो करना है कश्मीर।
That we are killing our own people. Can't you shut him up?
Jaldal is on the debate. Jaldal.
Arnab.
Get Usman on the right.
Can you tell this man to shut up? Can you allow such a narrative on our national television channel? These people, firstly, these are terrorists. They sponsor terrorists. They train terrorists. They supported terrorists. And on our national television channel, you allow him to talk this crap. This narrative,
you people are the biggest terrorists in
Uzma Kardar, see, I'll tell you. First of all, understand it correctly. Uzma, see, it is quite clear to us, and you don't have to be a very well-known geostrategic analyst to say this. One minute. What is clear to me? Uzma, these are desperate acts by you after we have conducted peaceful elections. These are desperate attacks by you. 13 people have been killed. Let me put it in perspective for you. 13 people have been killed in the last 15 days since the assembly election results were announced. General Dayal, let us have no doubt, they hate democracy because they are not a democratic country. They will never be a democratic country. So, in the last 2 weeks, viewers, 7 terror attacks and 13 people killed because Omar Abdullah was elected Chief Minister in an election with the highest voting turnout. Highest voting turnout. What can be bigger testament of the proof of our democratic intent than this, General Dayal? They can't stand it. That's why they attacked our parliament. Our parliament is the symbol of our democracy.
So therefore,
they hate democracy. They hate democracy.
And now they are,
and that is what is most sacred to us as a nation.
People. And that is why you're so frustrated. That is why your government is so frustrated. You can't control this internal situation.
You are talking,
and this is a freedom fight. This is a freedom movement.
Don't talk like a parrot. You are frustrated. You are fostering terrorism in
General Dayal, please.
In Kashmir, inflicting cruelty on the people of Kashmir.
Arnab, can you just shut her up? Arnab, the issue is, see, I'm an army officer and we generally don't talk over the ladies. Whatever, the lady may be from Pakistan, she may be from anywhere, right? The issue is that this is sponsored terrorism and they are trying to undermine the flourishing democracy in Jammu and Kashmir. And since Pakistani army and Pakistani ISI are clearly and absolutely involved into it, it is time to teach them a lesson. It is time to strike at Pakistani army, at Pakistani ISI. And that is the only language they understand. She is talking of... Because that is what you deserve, because it's a military problem, it is a military solution, and it is a military application, military power application. So it is time to strike at them and strike hard at their armed forces, at their army, at their bases, at the LC. I've been talking that it is time to start operations on the LC. and put Pakistan back into the place
Yes, sir.
it deserves to be.
Absolutely, sir. We are with you in that. We are with you in that.
So scared of our army.
We are with you in that.
Gives
Madam,
you
we are
nightmares.
not scared.
You
We
cannot
are not
compete
scared.
with our
Ladies and
army.
gentlemen.
You cannot
You
compete
will
with our
not
intelligence
fight. Believe
agencies.
you me, you
Raw
will
is
not fight
nowhere.
more than 2
Raw
days.
is nowhere. Raw is
Next
nothing
debate.
as compared to
Your
our
army
ISI.
will
You've got
not-
the best
your army
intelligence
will-
agencies.
Ladies and gentlemen, I request the Pakistanis to understand the clear message we are sending to them. Uzma Kardar, you have your own personal history here. Your husband tried to be brave and came back as a coward after being defeated and surrendered. You have a personal history, which is why you have a personal animosity towards the Indian Army, which defeated your army and your people, and your husband had to surrender. That is an unfortunate reality. I didn't drag him into the debate, you did. Ladies and gentlemen,
We all know what happened in 1971.
ladies and gentlemen, we all know what happened in
Come
1971.
out of your
Yes, we know.
dreamland.
Yeah, we know what happened in 1971. You also know what happened in 1971.
To face Pakistan.
You
army
know,
and
you know
Pakistan.
what happened in 1971. You have a
That
deep
is the
understanding of it.
Truth. And you need
Anyway,
to- you need to
Uzma,
follow it.
Uzma,
You need to
I never hit back personally,
You
so I will
cannot
not,
do anything
I will not
about
attack
it.
you personally, but
Try-
reality is
try
reality.
whatever you want.
You will have to deal with your
Try whatever
personal
you
issues
want. It's
at a
not
personal
going to
level.
work.
I thank you, Uzma. I thank you, Uzma. It's been a tough evening for you on television. You have my sympathies. I thank you for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm continuing with a big debate on the Wakf emergency. First it was Kerala, now Karnataka. The Wakf is claiming land arbitrarily. The Wakf emergency has gone national. And today it's Kerala and Karnataka. Tomorrow they could snatch away your land as well. Remember, nobody's safe in this kind of a situation. Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, there are more than 3.5 lakh Wakf estates in this country and over 8.7 lakh immovable properties of Wakf. But the digitized records only exist for about 3 lakh properties, which means of the total Wakf properties in the country, the board has digitized records for only 27% of the properties. And yet, when tomorrow the Wakf board comes knocking at your door to claim your property, the onus will be put onto you to prove the ownership and not on them, not on the Wakf board. And that is the problem with this post-colonial, extremely repressive and post-Nehruvian Wakf law. This is not about religious places, viewers. It never has been. It is simply about 1.5 lakh individual parcels of agricultural land, nearly 1 lakh houses, 1 lakh shops, and over 120 Archaeological Survey of India monuments, among many other properties for which the Wakf does not have complete records to even claim ownership. Now they're getting scared. So they're going around making these claims, encroaching on people's land. The problem starts when the people who claim scams in Dharavi redevelopment or go to the Supreme Court to halt the demolition of the illegal houses of criminals stay radio silent on one of the largest emergencies in this country, that is the Wakf emergency, a creation of their own genius, an emergency that has even claimed the land on which the temple of our democracy, our parliament stands. And today they are saying that even the parliament land belongs to us. The land of the airport in Delhi belongs to us. The Taj Mahal land belongs to us. And now they have said in Karnataka, 15,000 acres of land of Hindu farmers belongs to them. Just imagine the insecurity in the hearts of those families whose lands are being taken away or claimed by the Wakf. Put yourself in their shoes and realize this is something we'll have to fight very, very strongly collectively. I'm returning to the debate tonight, on which I've got great reactions so far already. And Shalini Ali, national convener of the Muslim Rashtra Manch, is joined by Tuhin Sena, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Abdul Razak is joined by Syed Asad Abbas. Shalini, this is very, very scary, very scary. Across the country, lands are just being claimed. And we get so many phone calls into Republic saying, help us, save us. And they say, today it is our land, tomorrow it can be yours. The Wakf can come anywhere and say this is Muslim Wakf land. It's very dangerous. People are very insecure right now. What should be done? Shalini.
See, when the government brings in an amendment act that comes on and now the JPC is taking the lead on it, this is the need of the hour. When the government is falling on all cards on the board and saying there is a requirement for an amendment, there is a requirement of 44 amendments to be made in that amendment bill, then why is the community not coming forward for it, for the harmony of this country? Let's get back to
What do you mean
you
the
actually
community?
spoke about,
Excuse me, ma'am.
digitalization.
Said the Abbas is countering, Shalini.
I just started. Let me just begin by saying...
Syed Abbas is countering Shalini. The debate is on a versus format right now. Syed Abbas on the right, please, is countering Shalini on a versus format.
शाहीन जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम पहली बात तो सबसे पहले ये है मैम it is absolutely unfair that you say that the whole community has a problem with it. I'm sorry ma'am, this is a community.
1 minute, Syed, just wait, let her complete. Syed, let her complete. You're on, but let her complete. Go on, Shalini.
Be the voice of
why
the whole
is there no
community.
digitalization post 70?
Shalini, louder.
Why do we still don't have digitalization of any properties of the Wakf board which have been utilized or being owned, and what are they being utilized for? Why do we still only have 5 to 6 women members on board of the Wakf board when there is already a provision that women are supposed to...
Shalini, louder.
What is the Wakf board doing? Why are they grabbing everyone's land? Why is it not a challenge for people and democratic India today that a board is existing for the upliftment of the community, for the upliftment of the minority, and yet if an amendment needs to be made, why is it not being made? How can you not have digitalization? Today you have a rickshaw wala taking payments through a Paytm. You have a rickshaw wala taking Paytm payments through PayInfo. Why don't we have land details of the Wakf board on the computer, on any server? What utilization is being made, and why is this community still harping upon being the poorest over here? You have to make a change. You have to give the government a chance to call a stickler, use the stick, and make amendments for the community if the community leaders are not coming forward. We don't have a leader for the minorities. Give it that and let the government take a stand for the Wakf amendments to take place. You need to allow democratic India to grow, and for that this community needs to come forward. For that land grabbing, forget about religion, talk about the mafia part of it. We all know that the Wakf land is being taken over by mafias. We know that there are gangsters who take the land, utilize it, on goodwill, and the poor of this community are still suffering. It's about time we make a change.
One statement is not the statement of all of them. Parliament, Taj Mahal, this is Badruddin Ajmal. This is not the whole Muslim community. And also let me bring to your notice, ma'am, in the Karnataka board state of Wakf, there is a woman representation there. So BJP is not doing anything great.
There are probably only 4 women or 5 women in the entire India. I don't speak for a particular state.
So stop
I speak
making
for India.
sweeping
I am
statements,
an
ma'am.
Indian citizen.
Also,
I don't speak for a particular state.
It's okay. I know you speak on behalf of the Bharatiya Janata
Today,
Party.
why do we have to have an amendment which is for sure making it a point to have 2 women members when the provision has already been there?
So you
do
not speak on behalf of all the Muslims, man. There is enough intellectual presence
and not
of the
follow
Muslim
the rules.
community here in
Just
India, and
answer
they
me,
speak
why
for
don't we
Viewers,
have
I need to just give an opportunity to others tonight, including Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Abdul Razak. See, viewers, this has not been made up by me. If I open the phone lines right now, I'll tell you one thing, Tuhin, I'll tell you one thing. Today, if I allow the lines to be open, there is so much pressure on our phone lines right now. I've not even opened the line. People are so worried, and all that people are saying is that how can anybody do this? Our hard-earned property, our land, and some Muslim Wakf board comes and says it is ours. Don't do this.
Arnab, I would begin by giving you a friendly advice. You have constructed this brilliant, marvelous new studio of Republic on the outskirts of Noida. Keep it out of the sight of Wakf board. Never invite any Wakf board representative to your studio, even for a debate, because next morning they might claim that it is your Republic studio built on their property and you show up. No, it is not a joke.
Now you're giving the mic. ideas.
Try stand-up comedy.
Now you're giving them ideas.
Arnab, that's a good joke.
No, let Tuhin speak.
Stand-up comedy.
Let Tuhin speak. That is how arbitrary things have become. Let him speak.
That is how ridiculous, that is how preposterous the behavior of the Wakf board has been. Arnab, they lecherously pry upon properties which definitely don't belong to them. A land in a village, in a 1,500-year-old temple. Can you imagine Wakf board claiming them? A village in Haryana with a 400-year-old Gurudwara. Can you imagine Wakf board claiming that? They deliberately go after land which does not belong to them because they want
louder, Tuhin, louder. Louder. Bring Tanazak down. Louder, Tuhin.
They want to usurp land. They want to usurp land. This professional, this compulsive usurping of land needs to stop. And Arnab, this has only strengthened our resolve to bring the Wakf Amendment Act this December, and it will become a reality no matter what the Abdul Sattar of the world say.
And let me tell you what we say. What do we say? What do we say? What do we say? We say that we, the free, hard-working, law-abiding citizens of this country, refuse to be blackmailed by the Wakf boards, and we refuse to float on an ocean of uncertainty and insecurity, and that we will fight back. And it is totally unfair. This cannot be allowed.
The Congress party has been a notorious enabler, like Zameer Khan, the Congress minister, who has been an enabler in the Vijaypura case, where my heart goes out to the farmers who for the last 100 years have records of 4 generations of mutation records, mutation registers, land records, and yet because of the instructions of Zameer Khan, their land needs to be transferred within 15 days to the Wakf board. This is a shame, this is a pity, and this is stop it. We will stop the state. We will put an end to this land mafia behavior.
But then by this logic, is it possible? I'm just asking here. Maharashtra elections are coming up. That means tomorrow Congress can do this in Maharashtra also. If they come to power, they will say, give up all the mandirs, give the land, give the temples, give it to the Wakf board. Rahul Gandhi will say this is all to be owned by the Wakf board.
Let us understand this case, Allow me 1 minute. Yes, I will answer you, Arnab. Arnab, there's been an official statement from the Vijaypura Wakf board.
No. What is the Congress party position?
Ms. Tabassum has represented and stated the same. There is an official statement on this, and it's very important for all our respective viewers to know. The land was marked as Wakf property by the state government, and this was documented in the Gazette. However, notices were mistakenly sent to farmers. If they have valid land records, the Wakf board will not take any action against them.
Oh, if they are valid. So you 1 minute, I understood it. 1 minute, keep it brief. So Shalini, what he's saying is, Wakf board is so nice. They will come and say, Shalini, Ali, your land is mine. They'll say, no, but it's my land. I have paid for it. I've proven paid tax. They'll say, okay, come to me. I will put my man to decide whether the land is yours or mine.
Under the main concept
it's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff going on, bhai.
That you're giving in charity in the name of Allah. But nowhere has it been written that religion comes in, and it is only for the welfare of mankind, not for a particular community. You can create
kindly reflect back on the cases.
Out of the Wakf plan for the mankind welfare of this country. Now let's come down to having land records. Suppose you are an illiterate farmer who has been living in an area where there has been no digitalization, no education. You are expecting him to bring in land records of 400 years old of his family to come and show and prove that this was his land. I mean, a poor farmer goes to get his land sold so that he can marry his daughter, and he comes to know this was Wakf property that he was living in. What was the Wakf board doing for so many years? Why today the Wakf board is coming in front in all the states and trying to take
why is the BJP not making a huge deal of this nationally? Tuhin, you put it to the JPC. Since everybody is feeling insecure and Rahul Gandhi wants to give away everyone's land to the Wakf, why aren't you making this a big national issue?
No, of course it's a national issue, and we will make sure that the bill is passed and made into an act in December. But every
You better
time
do,
a
otherwise
case-
people will lose their land.
Every time a case erupts, our local leaders take it up aggressively. Today, Tejasvi Surya has taken it up aggressively. You must have seen his video of Tejasvi Surya where he has told people that any further case, any other case which is brought up, his doors are open 24/7. So all BJP leaders are taking it up aggressively across the country, but on a national basis. This will become an act, and it will undo the damage of the 1995 and 2013. Malicious or rather vindictive, amendments brought by the Congress government. And I say this is vindictive. The Congress amendments were vindictive towards the entire Hindu community.
The bill in its present
Well, ladies
form
and
can never be
gentlemen, we are going to have a continuing debate on this, and these issues are best left decided by the courts, and the Waqf can't do this. Viewers, so many of you are telling us we are feeling insecure today. You have a right to. I don't know what's happening in this country. I just don't know why Rahul Gandhi is telling the Congress government to support taking over arbitrarily or making claims on the land of poor farmers in Karnataka. And remember, today it's poor farmers in Karnataka that the Congress is doing this to. Today it could be, tomorrow it could be you, it could be anyone. This is so wrong. This is not secularism. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a huge debate on the Gyanvapi verdict today, and on the other side I will explain what today's verdict in Gyanvapi means for Hindus and as well for the Muslim community. In a few minutes, it's continuing.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Co-powered by Jaguar Bath & Light.
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.